In this video, we are going over how to ignore your current reality when manifesting anything. This is a very powerful law of attraction principle that's coming up next. Hi there, welcome to HeartSpace. My name is Dave, and on this channel, we are releasing videos every single day to help you live life more in your way. So if that sounds good to you, hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you don't miss any of the videos that we've released. Now in this one, I want to go over a very important idea, which is how you can start to manifest or to ignore your current external reality so that you begin manifesting. Because as you've been learning on this channel, reality works in an inner to outer way. But a lot of times people struggle when their external reality does not reflect that of their inner reality just yet. And they go back into giving more priority to their external reality. They look at their surroundings or their bank account, that's a big one, or their relationships, and they go like, I don't have the things I want yet. This stuff just doesn't work. You know, I'm just going to complain about it, invest in the external reality, and then you just get more of what you've been getting through your old story. And so I want to go over how we can stop this, how we can ignore our external environment, which, by the way, is illusory, guys. It is a projection of what's happening in the inner world. And so if we can start to see it as that, we can start to realize that we can mold this external reality through our inner world. I'm going to be going over how you can do that. So first things, guys, is to remember that the reality that you're looking at is energy. Everything in here is energy. And according to the law of attraction, like energy attracts like energy, which goes to say, or stands to reason, that everything you see is because you've been transmitting a like energy, which has attracted a like circumstance into your life. Now, one thing you have to also understand between physical reality and the quantum reality, another way to say that is the inner world, which would be the quantum, and in the quantum, things happen instantaneously. You think of something and it happens instantaneously in the quantum. However, in the external reality, there is a lag time. Energy turns into the physical matter that you see around you. It collapses into matter. You know, you have the wave that turns into the particle. But while the quantum world things happen automatically, there is a lag period, a gap to bridge between the inner world and the external world. So although you may be feeling something on the inner world, it will take a little bit of time for like energy to be attracted, to collapse into physical matter that ends up turning into your external world. And so an element of patience is needed here and an element of faith. And for me, the universe made it this way because there is an element of faith you need to believe in order for your external reality to change. Because guess what? If you truly believed something, if you truly believed and backed the law of attraction, if you truly believed that your inner world turned into your outer world, you would be able to go through that period of lag and still have complete faith that your external reality is going to eventually shift to that of your internal reality. But if you don't believe that, that's when you will start to have doubts. That's when you'll start to give in to the external reality, which means you never really had a solid foundation of faith when it came to the law of attraction or universal principles anyway. And again, the universe, you can't trick it. It knows when you're bullshitting it. It knows when you're not being honest. It knows when you are just being deceitful in order to get something that you want. You can maybe be deceitful towards certain people and have them believing or at least questioning your motives, but you're never going to be able to trick the universe because it works energetically. And so you can say that, yeah, I believe in the law of attraction. I believe my thoughts become things. I believe like attracts like. But if you are not energetically showing that you believe that, if you were just saying that, but deep down you're like, I don't believe this at all, the universe knows that. You can't trick it. It understands the energy you're giving off. And again, guys, it's all about the energy. You could be saying and thinking certain things, but if you're saying like, I'm grateful, I'm appreciative, I'm coming from love, whatever it is, but the energy that's coming from that is totally not that energy. It's not love energy. It's not gratitude. It's not appreciation. Then you will receive back whatever the energy is. The universe doesn't really care about what words you use. We just use certain words because usually a certain energy comes attached to those words. But you can totally pretend to be grateful while not being grateful at all. I'm sure, you know, you've had people say thank you to you in a way that was totally not thankful. You know, just like, yeah, thanks very much. Yeah, the words I'm saying are thanks very much, but do you really believe a thankfulness, a gratitude energy was coming from those words? Absolutely not. And so the universe communicates in energy. So understand that first and foremost, you cannot trick the universe. And the universe communicates, it attracts, it operates in the form of energy. And like energy attracts like energy. So I want to give you an analogy that can really help you to start visualizing how this process works. And it's called the emotional bank account versus the financial bank account. And so we're going to relate this to money because a lot of times when it comes to the law of attraction, a lot of times people want to attract more money into their life, and that's absolutely fine. That's something that's important. That's something that you want to bring more of into your life. But this is something a mentor of mine taught me, and I think it's a very, very good analogy to get you started on this and to come back to if you start falling off track. So you have your financial account and your emotional bank account. And you can think of this as outer and inner. So your financial bank account represents the external world. So this is like money, this is like things. And the emotional bank account represents the inner world. And like we've already mentioned, inner world leads to outer world, or external world follows inner world. However, most people have this backwards. They are using their financial bank account to try and elevate their emotional bank account. So more money comes in and their emotional bank account raises with it, but then money goes out and their emotional bank account falls with it. And this is backwards. This is not using the law of attraction. This is not using the universal principles that show us how to actually get the things that we desire, to receive the things that we truly want. And the universal principles say to be whatever it is that you want now. Why do people want more money? Why is it that people want to raise their money? Why? Because they want to raise their emotional bank account, and they think the only way to raise their internal state, remember, emotional bank account represents inner world, they believe the only way to feel better on the inside, in the inner world, in the quantum world, to feel better, better emotions, happiness, whatever it is, emotional bank account, they have to have more money, or more things in the external world. That's why people chase fame. It's why people chase money, because they believe that once they have that, the emotional bank account will rise. And sometimes it will for a temporary amount of time. But the problem is, if you are attaching these two together, that only your emotional bank account raises when your financial does, then guess what happens when the financial starts to go down? Guess what happens when you start to lose some of the material things, which are under the law of impermanence? What happens when that lowers? Your emotional bank account lowers. However, if you flip it and you start from the level of your emotional bank account, which is your inner, and you just work on raising that, then guess what? Your financial bank account as a byproduct will raise as well. The only difference is if your financial bank account goes down, which it does if you know anything about money, there's an ebb and a flow to finances always, so it will always at some point go down. There will always be a month where you're not making as much and maybe a month where you're making more. There will always be times where maybe you're investing in and you're in a certain period of planting the seeds where it goes down, and then a harvest, and then a planting, and then a harvest. But if you are focusing on the inner world, the emotional bank account, and this stays up, it won't matter what's happening here. Yes, as a byproduct, you'll make more money. Yes, as a byproduct, your environment will absolutely change. But it's your internal environment that you really want to be focused on. Because, again, most people want to earn money and have certain things to feel a certain way. But what if you just felt that way just because? Just because. Instead of saying, I need to earn this or get this or take this to feel a certain way, what if you just felt a certain way? Because guess what, guys? You all have access to every single emotion you could possibly think of. You, right now, in this moment, have access to happiness. It is available to you right now as much as depression, anger, misery is available to you. Gratitude is as much available to you right now in this moment as lack of gratitude, greed, ignorance, anything else is available to you. Love is as abundantly available to you right now as is fear. They're equally available, but guess what? You can only focus on one at a time. And so when you're focusing on fear, it is a choice you're making not to focus on love. When you focus on love, you are also at the same time choosing not to focus on fear. And so if you can bring yourself, and you absolutely can, to raise your emotional bank account first, your inner world first, to feel the feeling first, the byproduct will be the external environment. There will be a lag time, but it will eventually come to match it. But again, if you put all your stock in, I must get the physical environment first, then I'll feel the inner world, you are always going to be playing a game of cat and mouse. You will always be chasing the white rabbit. You will never, ever get there trying to get somewhere. It just doesn't happen. But if you can root yourself in these emotions, these feelings, this energy that you always have access to, the other account will follow. The financial, the external, don't worry, that will all be taken care of. But the great thing about it is you won't even care. because you in the first place, or at least most people in the first place, wanted the finances. They wanted the external things to feel a certain way, but now you're cutting that off and you're just feeling it. And so yes, this stuff will come in as a byproduct if you so desire it too. But you won't care. You won't need it. You won't be wanting it anymore. You won't be chasing it away. It'll come in very naturally through flow. Because now you're feeling love, man. You're feeling love. You're feeling peace. You're feeling joy. And what do you think comes into the external reality on the frequency, on the energy, on the back of the energy of love, joy, gratitude? Things also on that energy. Do you think more money comes in when you're grateful or more money comes in when you're fearful? I hope you know the answer to that. More is going to come in when you're grateful. What you appreciate appreciates. So the question of the video is, how do you ignore your current reality and begin to manifest, to start manifesting? Is you go inward, guys. Start feeling the feelings for no other reason than you can. Just because. Start feeling happiness because it is as readily available to you as sadness, as misery, as depression, as anything else. Start feeling joy for no other reason than you can. And trust me, everything else will follow. And if you really want to ignore your current external environment, which did come about through the law of attraction anyway, but it doesn't mean it always has to be that way. If you start moving more onto the frequency of love, happiness, joy for the majority of each and every day, each and every moment you are moving yourself on that level, your external reality by law has to change. All right, guys, so please take that to heart. As always, I love you, and I will see you in the next video.